What's up? It's Andy Grammer with Jag.
Hi, this is Carly Rae Jepsen, and you're listening to Jag.
Hey everybody, it's Joe Jonas hanging with Jag.
This is Heather Knox with the hottest Jag I've ever seen.
Ryan Seacrest with Jag.
It's B.O.B. checking in with my homie Jag. So much swag with my homie Jag.
It's the Jag Show Podcast.
Welcome in, podcasters. I am here today with a warning. Do not let the robots take over. No, I'm not sitting here with a tinfoil hat on my head, but there is a legitimate concern about automating too much of your podcasting process. So, for example, I use a service called Descript. I'm not paid to endorse them, but I am a user of their product, and it is an automated podcast transcription service. The thing that I like about it is that it has a filler word deleter tool. It will automatically hunt down the ums and ahs in the transcript and delete them. Now, you might be tempted to import your file, run the deleter, and export the audio, post it, and you're done. Not a good idea. You need to have balance. For example, I had a client that had a very, very long podcast, one of the longest podcasts I've edited, and the tool took out approximately 300 ums, and the host and guest were both great professional speakers, but we all use them. The problem is this artificial intelligence doesn't have the human ear for intricacies with audio. Most of the edits were great, but you really have to go through and see if they missed any ums, if there's any ums that should be put back in for context, and if there are, in general, any bad edits. Machine learning is getting better and better, but it cannot replace a human ear. There is a feel to editing a podcast. Don't forget that. And to take it a step further, Rodecaster has improved their companion software to transfer your files from your Rodecaster Pro mobile studio to your computer. And within it, they have automated functions if you wanted to send it to Libsyn or other podcast services to export that file. Sounds great. But if you're recording your podcast and then just exporting it without doing any kind of editing, chances are your podcast isn't that great. I'm not saying you've got to go through a detailed edit and take out every and and like and but at least do some basic cleaning up of the file. There are 1 million podcasts on Apple. 90,000 went up in the month of May. And according to one article referenced in the show notes, the amount of podcasts could double every year. Put the time and effort in your podcast to clean it up and make it stand out. There's a lot of garbage out there, and it's not hard to stand out above the crowd. Moral of the story, don't be afraid to use some of these tools, but as with everything, there's a balance. A couple other quick hits in podcast news this week. A new subscription service called Pod Hero. It's kind of a cool idea. You pay a monthly subscription fee. It's just $5.99 a month, and that money gets divvied up amongst the shows that you support. They claim to work with over 1 million plus podcasts from 30 plus countries. I love the idea, but it is possible to be too early in your innovation. With so many people struggling to make ends meet right now, if, for example, you've cut your cable and you're paying for Netflix and Hulu and HBO and whatever else, you don't want one more subscription to subscribe to. It would be great to donate money to these podcasts. And maybe in the coming years, as we figure out how to monetize the industry a little bit better, this could be a viable way to do it. And it seems like it's already more user-friendly than Patreon. But I think this idea, while a good idea, might be a little bit too early. It shouldn't surprise anybody that Zoom stock is absolutely through the roof right now, with everybody using Zoom and even using other things and calling them Zoom. It's kind of become the household term. Zoom stock way up in 2020. Still, don't use Zoom to record a podcast unless you have to. I won't get too technical here, but put it this way. Broadcast audio is 44.1. Zoom records at 32. Big difference. And finally, got a link to a blog post that kind of says what we already suspected. Podcasts can be a break from all that screen time on Zoom or wherever else. I know that when I spend a couple hours editing a podcast, especially if I forget to take breaks every once in a while, my eyes hurt from staring at the screen. Your eyes probably hurt if you stare at your screen having meetings all day. Podcasts can be a great break because you don't need your eyes. You can close your eyes. You can look around. You can give your peepers a rest and get lost in a podcast. I've started running, and I'm catching up on podcasts while I run in the morning. It can be a great break from all that screen time, which, as we all know, is not great for you. Coming up Tuesday on The Jag Show, I am so excited to be doing this interview. I'll try not to fangirl, I promise. Mistress Carrie, longtime DJ on WAAF, legendary rock station in Boston up until a few months ago. She has started a podcast. First episode is fantastic. She's an incredibly talented jock, somebody that I've listened to for a long time and really respected. And she's going to tell me about her venture from radio over to podcasting in our next episode of The Jag Show, which is out this Tuesday. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, have a great weekend, and I will talk to you then. Later!
Thanks for listening to the Jag Show podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to subscribe in Apple, Spotify, Google, or wherever you get your podcasts. New episodes are published every Tuesday and Friday morning. For help with your podcast, find Jag on social media at Jag in Detroit or on the web at jagindetroit.com.